Greetings, fellow alumni. We are here at Rose Alumni House, and we are excited to be shooting Season 2 of Yale Afternoons with Alison, a series where we bring university leaders to Rose Alumni House to talk about their priorities and alumni engagement. Today, I'll be sitting down with Rachel Fine, Executive Director of the Schwarzman Center. Rachel Fine.
Alison Cole.
Welcome to Rose Alumni House.
Thank you.
We are very excited to have you.
Well,
this is a special episode for me because we used to work together.
Yes, we did.
We can reflect on some good times.
We can. I'm still mourning your loss, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I do miss you every day. We're going to talk about some of your priorities. For those alums out there who don't know that much about the Schwarzman Center, we also want to give them a little bit more of an insider view to your work.
Great.
So let's start there. Talk about the scope of the Schwarzman Center and kind of what your role as executive director encompasses.
So we are many, many things. We are 125,000 square feet. Yes, it's a big space.
Yeah.
And it's a very architecturally significant space. It's absolutely breathtaking. And of course, everyone knows Commons, but it's much more than Commons. We're now 4 floors and a multitude of spaces. We are Arts and Culture Center, we are Student Center, we are Wellness Center, we are Hospitality Center, we have 6 dining platforms, but I would say more than anything, we are a community center. We're right in the heart of campus, and in my opinion, we are among the first most major endeavors to unify the community of Yale. And of course, we all love and appreciate the residential college system, but this is really for everybody, not just undergraduates, as Commons has been an undergraduate dining hall in the past. So this is for students, faculty, staff, and members of the New Haven and broader community. So we're trying to provide cohesion, continuity, and community on campus.
That's amazing. I think you as a graduate school alum from your time here, you actually, when we worked together, talked about that a lot, about this, you also really wanting this, we call it Student Center, but wanting it to also feel like a home for all of our students, not just Yale College.
Yes, and faculty and staff too. We really want everyone hanging out in the space, seeing arts and culture events. The dining is open to everyone. Of course, we have a bar down. We have the only sanctioned bar on campus, with our dean, of course, holding the permit. And that's open to anyone who's 21 and over, but community as well. So we really do want everyone to mix and mingle and feel that sense of community and connectedness in our space.
So that's a very, vast charge.
Yes.
Like, how do you, as executive director, think about balancing all those needs, and where is your focus, and what is your team thinking about on a daily basis?
Sure. Well, first, I should acknowledge that we have partners in the building, and we have a major partner in Yale Hospitality. It's probably their biggest operation on campus. And I said, 4 dining platforms in Commons. We have the Elm downstairs, which is a very active and dynamic cafe. We have a late night grill called the Ivy, and then we have the Bow Wow, which is a to-go, grab and go operation. So they have a very big, very professional and wonderful operation in there. And of course, the best food on any university campus, I'm not going to lie. And then we also have the Good Life Center, which oversees the Wellness Center. So they are our partners. We do many things together. We leverage our resources collectively. But it's not just me running the show. I mean, ultimately, and frankly, there is no other space out there anywhere in the world that has all of these things going on in one building. So all of our spaces are multi-use, multi-purpose. As far as the arts and culture piece goes, we don't have fixed seating or fixed seating capacity. So my job really is first and foremost the strategy and the business plan behind the space. And that was something that I did with the team and with our outside consultant, Michael Kaiser, during my first 18 months on the job. And you remember you were part of that process as well. So that encompassed our artistic intent. What do we want to do artistically? What do we want to do in terms of fundraising and marketing and finance? I mean, obviously we want to be sustainable. We want to be a sustainable operation. What do we want to do with the community? What do we want to do in terms of educational outreach? So I'm thinking about all of those things on a higher level. And then, of course, we have a wonderful team that has grown a lot in the last 3 years. I think there were maybe 8 or 10 people when I first started. We're now over 20.
Wow.
Because there's been so much demand on the space. But that's really my job. Think about all of those things.
What I love about the center is I think that it's become this place on campus where we hear the needs of the community, and the spaces become so nimble to address them, right? Like,
Yes.
our people wanted more opportunities for more flexible dining. Wellness and student mental health became so important. And like the Schwarzman Center just seems to become this place where, okay, we hear these challenges and this is a place where we can address them, which I find really beautiful about it.
No, it's incredibly exciting. It also allows us to think about the artist who might have not only one foot in the arts world and one foot in the wellness world.
Yep.
So not so long ago, we had the remarkable cellist Joshua Roman come in, and he is someone who suffered greatly from long COVID, and he worked with Carnegie Hall over the last few years to design a program that spoke to his recovery from long COVID. And it was absolutely perfect for us. We could partner with Laurie Santos, who ended up working with Joshua when he was here. Joshua went down to the medical school, and he worked with the Doctors Orchestra down there. But this program was very much about healing and wellness, with, of course, music being the centerpiece of the program. But that's been very exciting, is to think about that.
So I'd love to hear about what brought you to Yale, because when you arrived, the Schwarzman Center hadn't officially opened because the pandemic kind of got in the way of those plans.
Exactly.
So you were really starting from years of research, but really from scratch.
Exactly. Well, first of all, I love a good challenge.
Yes.
I really love a good challenge. And it was hugely exciting to me, one, to come back to Yale. My husband also went here, so it meant he got to come back too, and I was a professor in the School of Architecture. My daughter, you know the story.
I do.
But my daughter actually had been admitted to Yale, and then 6 months later we started looking at these jobs, so she didn't actually know we were coming. So she grew up in LA, and she went to high school in LA, and we had to sit her down and sort of ask her permission, would it be okay if we came to college with her? So, I don't want to say that was the reason we moved.
Of course.
But it was not a bad thing
It's a
to
bonus.
be a little closer to her. But I also think being on the East Coast again, after almost 2 decades, maybe 2.5 decades, it all seemed very exciting.
I love it.
And so we seized the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
And Yale's happy you're here.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy to be here too.
So you're looking down the road. Like, what are your top 3 priorities in your role for the Schwarzman Center?
I want us to be the very best at what we do, and I want us to be recognized nationally and internationally for what we do. So in the grand scheme of things, again, there's no cultural center or student center that looks like the Schwarzman Center. We are totally and completely unique.
Yep.
But within our industry, let's say the arts and culture industry, there are many producers and presenters of performing arts and visual arts, and I want us to be recognized with the very best. So whether it's Brooklyn Academy of Music or Carnegie Hall or the New York Phil, or Lincoln Center, I want to be recognized in that pool of people for the outstanding work that we do. So that's a priority. And of course, that begins with our unique artistic intent and what that is and how do we differentiate ourselves artistically.
Yep.
We, of course, don't only work with professional artists, we work with student artists too. We also work with a lot of emerging artists. We do lots of residencies. We have a space called the Dome where we like to think of it as an incubation space.
I love that.
So leveraging those things into being recognized for great work. The community piece of it is so critical to me, and that we have a bridge to the arts and culture community of New Haven and the broader community is extremely important. And it's also important to the Schwarzman staff. We want to be a center for belonging and inclusiveness. And that means everybody. That means people who have grown up in New Haven and have never set foot on the Yale campus. And if we can be that bridge to the community and welcome people in for the first time, I would be thrilled. But then our artists who come in, they want to be working in our community. So far, just in our first 3 years, we have a wonderful relationship with Co-op High School. Many of our artists go and work with the students there. We might have students come to campus. We've worked with ECA, we've worked with Mary Wade. There are lots of, but we're just getting started.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I know that engagement with New Haven is really important to President McInnes as well.
I'm so happy to see that, yes.
Yeah. So we have many alumni who are obviously listening, and are probably really intrigued by all that you're saying and are wondering how their engagement can assist you with these priorities. What would you say?
Well, first, I want to encourage alumni to come to campus and to take part in any number of things that we do at the Schwarzman Center. So whether that's dining, they need to eat in Commons, and they might feel somewhat sad that the food was not nearly as good when they were here. The food is so good.
Yeah.
This food is so good. So that's one thing. Just come in, experience the spaces. Please, check out the Wellness Center. We also have lots and lots of exhibition space.
Okay.
And nearly every wall right now has been activated with an incredible exhibit, all 4 floors.
Yeah.
And that might be student exhibits, or they might be, Michael Morand and David John Walker did the most amazing exhibit, Shining Light on Truth, that actually came from the New Haven Museum, and we will have it up till next March.
Okay.
So that's my first plea, is to please come experience the space, because once you experience it and you're transformed by it and you're elevated by it, then you will go out and you will be our best advocates for the space. It's been wonderful. And just this past weekend, Parents Weekend, we had tours going all weekend. And we also had this incredible installation by a Yale alum, Leo Villarreal, in our dome. And I think we had thousands of people. That was unprecedented for us, visiting Leo's. It's called Celestial Garden, but tailor-made for Yale.
And I've heard a number of families, friends of my son's being like, oh yeah, we went to the Celestial Garden, which is very cool.
It was very cool because it was for everyone. We somehow ended up in a mommy blog, like a local mommy blog in New Haven, and suddenly there were children there, which is it was meditative, it was mesmerizing, it was peaceful, it was a retreat for anyone who went in there.
And what about alums who are aware of emerging artists in their community? Should they be sending those names to you? How can we also help deliver content to you or...
Sure. Well, first of all, we love giving alums with careers a platform.
Yeah.
And many of the artists who have come through have been alums so far, but that's a huge priority for us. So we've had everyone from composers Andrew Norman, Chris Cerrone, Ted Hearn, to Leo Villarreal.
Yep.
We had Trajal Harrell. The class of 1990, I don't know what they were drinking, but they turned out so many unbelievable people. We also on our advisory board have several alums, so Sean Levy and Bruce Cohen and Kara Underberg. So anyone interested in the advisory board, we're growing that. We love having alums and partnering with alums. And I'm just thinking about Sean Levy too, who brought Ryan Reynolds in. And they staged this incredible conversation in the evening in Woolsey Hall.
Yes, I took a lot of pictures that night.
Yes. I think we all took a lot of pictures.
Can you highlight an alum? You just mentioned so many. But highlight an alum who has done really exceptional work on the center's behalf. Obviously, Steve Schwarzman.
Steve Schwarzman, of course. There are so many. But maybe I can talk about Trajal for a moment. Because Trajal is somebody who has spent most of his adult professional life and career abroad in Zurich. And because he was an alum and had never been back, actually, since he graduated, that we sort of seized that opportunity. And so he and his company from Zurich, they were doing, I think, a couple of different things on the East Coast, including at the Whitney Museum when they were having the Alvin Ailey exhibit. So Trajal was involved in that. And so we designed a residency for them, and they ended up coming in for 5 or 6 days. They did a number of different performances, both in Commons, on a grand scale, but then they did this ancillary performance over in one of the art galleries, which was so memorable, I can't tell you, because it was only for about 100, 150 people, and you were almost on the stage with the artists, just fully immersed in their artwork. But it was so wonderful to experience his delight at having been back. And we asked the company, we hosted a welcome dinner for us, and I was thinking, oh, he's going to want to go to one of the fancy high-end restaurants. No, he wanted to go to Maury's. He wanted his company to go to Maury's. So we started off at Maury's. He taught a master class. So
amazing.
People could really see all sides of Trajal.
That's incredible. We're going to move to the fun part of the interview.
Okay. Well, I'm already having fun.
We're definitely having fun.
I am really
But these are the questions that, the kind of fun questions that could be controversial. Do you have a favorite spot on campus other than the Schwarzman Center?
There are so many. Truly. I mean, I love Beinecke, I love Sterling, I love so many places on campus, the Yale University Art Gallery, but if I had to choose one, it would be the Yale Center for British Art.
Okay.
I think what's special to me, this is also a building that my husband, who is an architecture critic and scholar, we experienced Yale at different times. He was an undergraduate here, I was a graduate student here, and I think we missed each other by a year or two.
Okay.
But when we met, we both found out that this was a building that we both cherished.
Yeah.
And I came to appreciate it even more. The alum, I think his name is Nathaniel Kahn, who is Louis Kahn's son.
Okay.
Has a whole documentary called My Architect about his architecture, and so that even gave me more insight and appreciation for that building. But yes, I love that building.
That's amazing. Do you have a favorite Yale memory?
Okay, because you may not know this about me.
Okay.
So I was originally a PhD candidate in musicology, and this was back in the 90s. And to be honest with you, I'm not sure I even knew what musicology was. I'm not kidding you.
Yeah.
I showed up, I was delighted to be here, I was so excited, I got in. But I was interested in a cappella singing. So when I was growing up in the Bay Area, I think the Whiffenpoofs visited my school twice, the Alley Cats visited, and I was one of those people who just loved a cappella singing. And so I found out in my first week of graduate school that there were one or two works that took graduate students.
Okay.
So instead of focusing on my studies, I decided that I was going to go through the a cappella audition process.
Okay.
And so one of my favorite memories is actually my audition for the group Out of the Blue.
Okay.
I sang a Beatles song.
Okay.
And I got in. And of course I was thrilled, and then I realized, the demands were so extreme, and I didn't know when I was going to do my musicology reading. And so inevitably, I think I was in it for about 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay.
But then I realized I wouldn't be able to tour, I wouldn't be able to do anything.
Okay.
Because the PhD work was...
kind of got in the way.
Well, it was got in the way of my a cappella career. But that is a great memory. It was really thrilling to get in.
What Beatles song?
There are places.
Okay. All my life.
Yes.
That was it. And that came full circle when we brought Paul McCartney here.
Oh, there you go. Yes, Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
At the Schwarzman Center.
Do you have a favorite New Haven pizza place?
Okay, so I have to ask you, as someone who has lived in New Haven much longer than I have, I always wonder, if you put a stake in the ground, if you choose your pizza place, what does it mean to the other pizza places?
Yeah.
Am I going to get a horse head in my pillow?
That won't happen, I promise.
No?
Yeah,
No?
you'll be good.
I really have not not proclaimed.
Okay, that's
yet,
fair.
But I'm gonna just because we just hosted a dance company. We had a dance company here last week called No Name Artist.
Okay.
Choreographer Roderick George, and we took them to Bar.
Bar is solid.
No, I love them all. The pizza took a little getting used to because I'm from California and our pizza is just very, very different.
Yeah.
We're like fennel and squash blossom pizza. But we went to Bar. That was probably my third time at Bar, and I think just because I was just there, we had such a good time. It was so delicious, and the Mexican street corn pizza was rockin'.
The bar salad.
The
bar salad.
The bar
separates.
salad.
It does.
The bar salad was
pizza
great.
and salad. Bar is definitely the winner. One item that you always have on your desk.
Well, I always have pictures of my family
on
my desk, but I have a really kind of strange Post-it habit.
Okay.
So I always have little tiny Post-its, and they're kind of organized on my desk. I don't know to what degree they really help me remember to do things, but I have had this Post-it habit for a very, very long time.
Do they come off? Is it like a to-do list?
I just, I write down what I need to do and stick it. And usually they're organized in rows.
Okay.
And it's just part of the routine.
It's part of who you are.
Yeah, it is.
Well, Rachel
never
Klein,
without my Post-its.
I love that. We are so happy that you stopped by Rose Alumni House. We heard your afternoon drink of choice is a grapefruit spindrift.
Well, it really depends what time of day.
Oh, okay. Your flavor.
So I do love Spindrift, and we buy it by the case.
Okay. I do too.
Yes, and I don't like every flavor.
I like most flavors, but I am a fan, and this is a controversial flavor, is the...
Please don't tell me grape. Grape is a new flavor.
I love grape, and I love the iced tea lemonade.
All right, I don't know what to do
is
with
controversial.
that
Yeah, I get it. We don't have to agree on everything.
Okay, grapefruit's #1
Okay.
in my book. But I'm growing partial. There's a passion fruit now that I think is really, really
It's
good.
solid. I also like the blood
Yeah.
orange.
Yes, and I really want to like the cucumber.
Fair enough. Well, thanks for coming.
Okay, thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.